Hi everybody, this is just a little video update. Um, we're halfway through the first week of the summer semester for Principles of Economics. So I hope that you've acquired the textbook here and that you've started reading through the first chapter and taking notes, and that you've had a look at the first lecture and you've started taking notes on that. Please make sure you take notes as you read and as you go through the lectures. Bear in mind also, if we look at the learning guide, you can see that in the first week there's actually two topics. The first one, the Introduction to Economics, which is dealt with in chapter 1 of the textbook, and then the second topic is supply and demand, which is dealt with in chapter 2. So hopefully by the end of the week you will have made it through not just the first topic, but the second topic as well. If you feel by Sunday you haven't done that, then you really need to redouble your efforts in order to keep up. If you start to fall too far behind, it will be extremely difficult to catch up in time for the final exam. And I don't want you to fail the final exam because obviously, one, that's just not a good look on your record, and two, it's adding to your student debt. We want to avoid that if we can. So make sure you try and keep up with the material. The other thing I wanted to say in this video is that I've added some topics to the discussion board. So if we have a look at the discussion board, you can see there that I've got threads called Ask Ed, Rational Decision Making, Climate Change, The Prisoner's Dilemma, and Golden Balls. So these are, well, all of them except for Ask Ed are threads that are about topics in economics. So rational decision making, there's a few little situations there which I ask you to think about in terms of rational decision making. And that implies that you need to know what rational means in terms of standard economic theory. Then there's the thread on climate change. So we've got a new Prime Minister, but we don't have a new policy on climate change. We're apparently sticking with the direct action policy rather than going to an emissions trading scheme as favoured by the Labor Party and favoured by Malcolm Turnbull in a previous incarnation. So that's a thread where you can discuss the merits or the demerits of a direct action plan versus an emissions trading scheme. Then we've got the prisoner's dilemma. I'll leave you to go and look that up in your textbook, what the prisoner's dilemma is. But in this thread, there's a little bit of material to have a look at or have a read of, and it's an article about prisoners who are asked to play the prisoner's dilemma. You might think, well, so what? Well, if you look up the prisoner's dilemma, you'll see why that's a kind of funny thing, sort of. In that the prisoner's dilemma is just a thought experiment designed to show how attempting to act in your own self-interest can actually harm your self-interest. And then there's Golden Balls, which is obviously somewhat ambiguously titled. It's a game show. There's some videos for you to watch in that. I recommend that you watch those videos in sequence. And in particular, for the discussion, if you would comment on the last of those videos. Don't just watch the last video, though. Watch all of the videos in sequence. They're not long, so it's easy, and they're mildly entertaining as well. Uh, we've also got the Ask Ed forum. So this is a forum in which you can basically ask me any question you like. You can ask me, say, a technical question, such as is it necessarily the case that the quantity of labour supplied is a positive function of the wage rate? There you go. Or you can ask me just trivial questions, like what's my favourite movie or something like that. And I will endeavour to answer any question that you ask me. I'll check that discussion thread every couple of days. So don't expect an answer immediately, like within 5 to 10 minutes, but within a day or so. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So keep studying, do a little bit every day, and if you do, then you'll do really well in the subject. Make sure you also go and have a look at the discussion topics and participate in those. Not just if you feel so inclined, it's actually an accessible task to participate in the discussion board. So I would suggest that you act in your own self-interest by talking to each other. I think that's around about it. I think I'll just leave you with the picture of a panda.